Hi, my name is Morgan Hughley, and today I will be presenting my plan to revitalize the Blockbuster brand. In its heyday, Blockbuster was the place to be. Families would pile into their car and head to the local Blockbuster video store to pick out the movies, popcorn, and candy they wanted. Walking down the aisles was always filled with excitement and a little bit of suspense as you searched to see if that new release was still in stock. Then you'd go back home, curl up in PJs, and sit down on the couch with your family to watch the long-awaited movies you picked out. As a movie and video game rental service, Blockbuster reached massive success in the 90s and early 2000s, and at its peak had over 9,000 locations across the country. But if it was so successful, then what led to Blockbuster's downfall? The most obvious answer is Netflix happened, bringing a subscription service that offered consumers ease of use, convenience, and no more late fees. Many people thought Blockbuster just couldn't keep up. But that's not really the case. It's more complex than that. As new competition arose, Blockbuster did try to keep up, introducing a streaming service, rental kiosks, and all-access passes in an attempt to stay relevant. But in doing so, Blockbuster was trying to be too many things at once and lost what the brand was all about in the first place, the Blockbuster experience. Rather than creating innovation from within and using the Blockbuster experience to serve as a basis for new technology and services, Blockbuster tried to be what all of the other brands were doing. And that's where the company went wrong. So this plan is intended to revitalize the Blockbuster brand by giving consumers a core Blockbuster experience again. So how is Blockbuster going to come back this time stronger than ever? Of course, in a digital age, video stores are not likely to survive. In order for Blockbuster to have the best market opportunity, the brand will need to introduce a new subscription streaming service. But we can't fall into the same trap as last time. To stand apart from competitors like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, Blockbuster will have to stay true to itself, offering customers that true Blockbuster experience. And thankfully for Blockbuster, just like vinyl records, Polaroid pictures, and wide-leg jeans, retro is in again, and now it's Blockbuster's time to shine. Blockbuster will reintroduce a streaming service made to make consumers nostalgic. Blockbuster subscribers will be able to enjoy a wide array of nostalgic content, from cult classics to all things 90s and everything retro. They'll be able to dive into TV shows like The Golden Girls and movies like the Rocky Horror Picture Show or Space Jam. And beyond the streaming service itself, the company will continue to bring the Blockbuster experience to consumers by including a monthly movie night survival kit with each subscription, where families receive a small basket of candy and snacks to their door, along with a list of movie recommendations, so they are always reminded to enjoy a Blockbuster night in. When thinking of our target audience, there are really two segments we have in mind. First, we need to target parents in that 30 to 45-year-old range, those that grew up with Blockbuster, remember it well, and now want to introduce that experience to their children in a new and innovative way. Second, we want to target young millennials and Gen Z consumers, those somewhere between the ages of 18 to 25 years old. These are going to be the people that are less likely to have grown up with and remember Blockbuster, but they're going to be motivated by the trendiness of the retro platform. To reach this new target audience, Blockbuster is going to need a revitalized brand identity. In order to accomplish this, we will be paying close attention to the brand identity prism. As an overview, Blockbuster's physique and personality show how the brand represents itself to consumers. Blockbuster's personality, culture, and self-image make up what Blockbuster will believe in internally. The brand's self-image and reflection will represent how consumers see Blockbuster, and the relationship, reflection, and physique are Blockbuster's output that's visible to consumers. So let's start with the physique. Blockbuster's physical appearance will drive home that nostalgic feeling while still keeping an air of innovation and sophistication. The brand colors and ticket logo will stay the same, but the font style will change from Impact to a slightly sleeker Gotham font, which is shown on the screen. For Blockbuster's new personality, it's important that the brand doesn't take itself too seriously. Especially today, Blockbuster has become sort of a joke and a punchline in pop culture media. Blockbuster will likely find its biggest success by owning that joke, taking it back, and playing up to it, keeping its brand fun, lighthearted, and a little self-deprecating. For example, for its movie and TV categories on its streaming platform, Blockbuster can use funny and relatable movie categories like The 90s Are Calling and They Want Their Middle Park Back, or You Quote It, But You Don't Even Know It, and Canceled Like a Blockbuster Video Store. Now for Blockbuster's culture, this should relate back to the personality. So the company should be a fun place to work, should internally promote creativity, diversity, ingenuity. The employees at Blockbuster should want to be advocates for the brands because they're proud of the work that they're doing and the experiences that they themselves are creating. For the brand reflection, the typical Blockbuster customer will be someone who is adventurous and fun. Our target consumer will either be an individual that remembers the original Blockbuster and wants to take part in that experience again, or an individual that came after Blockbuster's time but wants to be part of that experience now. In terms of self-image, those that use Blockbuster streaming service will see themselves as trendsetters, individuals that stand apart from the crowd and find empowerment through one-of-a-kind experiences. Lastly, Blockbuster will want to be perceived by customers as a way to escape the day-to-day grind. From its streaming platform to its survival kit, Blockbuster should want to give consumers a way to connect with their families or friends and unwind, sending them back down a trip of nostalgia where nothing else matters but if your local Blockbuster video store has your favorite movie in stock. Now that we have our brand identity, we actually have to launch our platform and build a subscription base. In order to do so, there are 3 big strategies Blockbuster will need to follow to drive awareness. Experiential marketing will be the key component of our strategy. What better way to reintroduce the Blockbuster experience to consumers than through an experience itself? So Blockbuster is going to launch pop-up shops in major cities across the US. These pop-up shops will look and feel identical to the Blockbuster video stores back in the early 2000s. But there's a twist. Rather than come to rent movies, these shops are actually going to be large-scale escape rooms, giving attendees the opportunity to explore every nook and cranny of a Blockbuster video store. Once attendees escape, there'll be branded photo ops available and exclusive Blockbuster merchandise to buy. The brand can even build hype by partnering with celebrities and influencers to be there during those times. But before we begin the experiential marketing process, we'll need to build awareness for the pop-up shops that are actually happening in the first place. So to do this, we'll lean heavily on earned and paid media to drive awareness of the campaign. Blockbuster will release a press release and begin pitching the story to the media, earning spotlights on TV news stations, pop culture magazines, entertainment sites like BuzzFeed, influencer blogs, and more. This heavy PR push will also be complemented by out-of-home advertising, specifically billboards that announce Blockbuster's comeback in the cities where the pop-up shops are taking place. Once a buzz has been generated and the pop-up shops take form, it's important to remember that driving attendees to these shops is the tactic, but not Blockbuster's overall goal. Rather, Blockbuster's ultimate goal is to convince its target audience to sign up for its streaming platform. In order to secure a return on investment from the pop-up shops, Blockbuster will launch a comprehensive social media marketing campaign to not only highlight the successes of the Blockbuster escape rooms, but to also heavily promote its future streaming service. Social media is the right platform for Blockbuster. The brand proved that back in 2020 when it made one simple post saying, "Just checking in," that garnered over 900,000 likes on Twitter. Blockbuster will ramp up its organic and paid postings on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook using memes, sassy quips, and relevant hashtags to promote its new brand personality, making followers laugh while also creating excitement for its new platform release. Likewise, Blockbuster can also lean heavily on influencer marketing, especially to get buy-in from the Gen Z audience. Not only will Blockbuster invite influencers to its pop-up shop experience, but also partner with these influencers after the event to promote the Blockbuster streaming service to their followers. These influencers can share pictures of the pop-up shop, show sneak peek videos into the streaming service, and give their followers discount codes for a free month of service. This campaign will bring back Blockbuster to the public eye, but it's just the beginning of a long-awaited comeback. The retro streaming service is just a jumping off point, but Blockbuster can use this opportunity to create brand equity, generating awareness, creating better brand perception, associating itself with the notion of comfort and nostalgia, and driving brand affinity with loyal consumers. From there, Blockbuster can continue to expand, producing original content and creating exclusivity deals with movie studios and TV networks. However, as we know now, no matter how far the company reaches, Blockbuster must always stay true to its new brand identity. And remember, it's the experience that matters. Thank you, and that's my presentation.